Good morning, traders. My name is Brad Matheny. This is a TQQQ chart. I'm highlighting this because I want to try to teach you why I believe the next 2 or 3 years are going to be very, very critical for traders to really understand the opportunity taking place in the market. First and foremost, we're looking at a broad expansion, blow off topping phase post COVID here. We need to be aware that this is really an anomaly. This is not normal. We are looking at a megaphone pattern across this dash line area and this dash line area, which is likely going to continue in the future to provide some support for the market. It may not hold, and we may end up dipping below this megaphone pattern back over here and trying to find deeper lows. But ultimately, folks, this megaphone pattern is going to probably play a very important role to price trending and activity going forward. Secondarily, the expansion of price trending through a sine wave through this area, this extreme peaking area here, leads me to believe that we are going to see contraction to the downside until we get into some normal basing area around this megaphone area and these previous trend lines way back over here. You can see how so many of them align right here. I think we're going to see this as the area for real support. I don't think we're going to see any chance of any major support in the market until we get to this area. I think that this area is very likely to blow off into a deeper low, trapping shorts into this position before it rolls over. I believe this is going to come right before or right after the elections, and we're going to see it roll back out of the elections to retest this area, which again is going to be a good solid move. I mean, this is the TQQQ, so we're looking at 160, 180 point move. Then we're going to consolidate flat into 2026 potentially, with possible credit concerns, possible political concerns, possible war, and then we're going to move into the expansion phase. So this is basically a wave three move up. Sorry, let me redo this. Yeah, this is going to be a three move up, four move down, which will be A, B, C, ending in the C wave here, moving into a new five wave, which could end up being A, B, C, D, E, possibly. And that would end up being maybe a three wave count or maybe just part of wave one. But ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, it's this downward revision that I want you to be aware of. This downward trend is so important. Make this as thick as I can, make this as broad as I can. You need to be aware that we are going to be likely cycling downward, trying to find support, rallying back up in 2025 after the elections, maybe, and rolling downward. Now, these could be, I'm drawing these on a broad scope. So this could really be something like this. So we could have a lot of ups and downs that occur in this area. And each of these will be, maybe 7, 10, 15% type moves. But understand that we are in this expansion phase. Like I said here, we've seen this big expansion phase coming across these lows. Now we're in this contraction phase coming across these lows here. And ultimately we're gonna pinch out hypothetically in this area right here. This is going to be our call it our equilibrium. We're going to finally get back to a base level in the markets that we are going to be able to organically grow the economy and earnings and price to earnings ratio going forward. I don't believe we're going to see a lot of real growth for the next 2.5 years. It's going to be a very difficult market for investors and traders. Now, I threw this chart in here as well because I want you to see this. This is the S&P 500, same setup. Now, I've drawn it a little differently. I'm going to get rid of these levels, try to draw it a little bit cleaner. And here we go. So I've drawn these megaphone patterns across this area, consolidating price trend here, consolidating trend here that I believe is going to take place. And what we have here, folks, is again, it's going to roll down and try to attempt potentially this support level right here, maybe a bit lower. And that's probably going to end sometime after the election. Okay. In fact, I got to redraw this because it may end up doing something like this, rallying back up before the election and then falling depending on what happens. Then we come down to our support channel. We roll up into this area, roll back down, flag out, and then potentially move to the upside like this, setting up our big wave 5 correction. So this is really wave 4. When you think about it, this is wave 4, A, B, C, coming down to wave 4. And then we start our wave 5 here, which would be A, B, and then we get into this, A, B, C, D, E maybe. And then we'd see some sort of correction here. This could be the end of our move, and we could start to see it move downward. So understand that really where we're at in the market trend is we're in a sine wave, and this is what happens with sine waves. Let me draw it and I'll show you. Drag this out of the way. What happens in a sine wave formation is sine waves typically move in structured up and down cycles. I'm trying to draw these. Well, these aren't very good, but these are good. Now, when we get into an expansion phase, okay, another type of sine wave, and I'll draw these across horizontal lines so you can try to see, is we end up seeing a sine wave that can consolidate and then expand. And then consolidate. And then expand. Well, that's a little too quick, but expand. And once it gets to full mode, then it would contract again into a sideways trend. And these are a better example right here. So understand that where we're at when we get into this expansion mode, this big expansion mode here, this is where we're at here. And I believe this move downward here is really the first rotation downward here. So this may end up being something more along the lines of here, and then back to here before we come back up. That's what we're looking at right over here. A deeper correction, setting up a deep rotation low down in this area before we sine wave back up into an area where we will consolidate and flatline, which is going to be right here. So here's our sine wave pattern. Here's our sine wave here, coming down, coming back up, coming back down, coming flatlining roughly in this area, and then expanding back to the upside. And that's what I'm trying to teach you right now. That's what I'm trying to show you is the most important aspect of where we're at. We are looking at 2 to 3 years of extremely difficult trending and trading for skilled traders. The opportunity is not going to come, in my opinion, until the end of 2025, maybe early 2026 for a real big opportunity to catch this move to the upside. So, for example, buying down here near this low is going to be a very solid opportunity. If you miss it, buying near this low is going to be a second opportunity to really load up and catch the next big move. But if you're unaware of where these cycle opportunities are, then you're going to be in some real trouble. Okay, you're going to be in some real trouble chasing this market. Understand that we've got a time frame here from 2021 all the way out to 2028. That's 7 years potentially of sideways rotational trading where the market does not reach new all-time highs potentially. And that is something you need to be aware of. So follow my research, come to my website, follow what I do. I'm here to try to help you understand what's taking place in the markets and where there's opportunity. My systems generated more than 2 dozen trades last weekend. And there's some really great trade setups taking place. Again, you can make some really good money if you know what you're doing here. But if you are unaware of what's really taking place, you are going to get chewed up because you're going to get trapped in these bull and bear traps and you're not going to be aware of what's actually taking place. Okay, guys, that's it for now. Nice short video. I will talk to you soon.